As if it kicks in. There she goes.
Yeah.
All these microphones, cords agitate me. Cut that off for a minute. Straight up Mando. try it with a pick now. See what happens. Has old bare finger. And it cut my fingernails, that's for sure. Alright, here you go. Thank you. 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 Couldn't find anybody to participate, so I made one up. Man. What's today? Today's Thursday. Whew. Man. I tell you what. Mo head been going crazy this week. You know, you pick up a passion for something, or something you think it's going to be a passion, and you dive into it, and you jump out of the airplane, and you know that ripcord's there. That thing has been there, but first time jumping out of an airplane, I imagine there's microseconds of panic all through the process. I know when I was learning how to fly an airplane, as you're learning, there's micro panics throughout the entire flight process when you're learning. You know, an airplane behaves differently, and so I came to a crossroads. That's funny. Did I say something about crossroads this week and last week in another video? I came to a crossroads. It was a kind of a financial and creative crossroads. For about 5 years, I've been paying this music service $144 a year so that I could peruse their library and perhaps use some in some of my videos. But over time, I've gotten to use less and less background music. I may pick it up once I figure it out. Did that come through to y'all? But anyway, and then I've been watching these guys with one of these MIDI controllers, and some of the music you can put together with those MIDI controllers and maybe do some sampling and play with it. You know, I've got this mixer back here behind me, and I've played with miking up the mando and the ukulele, and I've got a guitar over there. I guess I need to get back on that. It's a weird thing for me. I'll get tired of it and think I need to put it down, but I put it right in sight, and I'll hear something, and I'll get to thinking about that instrument, and I'll pick it up and play with it some more. And I got a rotation. I kind of like it. I hadn't been playing the resonator or the electric guitar. I'm probably not very experienced on either one of those, but I like the way they sound, and I'll pling on them every now and then. But anyway, I had the opportunity at Crossroads, and so I decided I was going to spend that annual money that I've been paying for that service and invest in a MIDI controller. And this MIDI controller I bought comes with a DAW, which is a digital audio workstation, where you can either take it directly from an audio interface like I'm talking to you on right now, and take it out of the mixer into the audio interface. That's how I get that reverb. It's got some little gadgets on it or whatever, And I was just playing with it, trying to figure out how to mic up and use the audio interface and all that. And I hit that reverb, and I thought it sounded good on that mandolin. And so that's what y'all hear me doing with. But tonight I did very little of that. But anyway, I got the MIDI controller, and there's a bunch of functions on the button. And then when you go into the software, you can program, like you can work out some beats that you've got and some hits and some things like that, and program them into it and take it with you and kind of, work on your hits and put your music in order and organize things while you're, just play through it while on that MIDI, because it has a speaker jack and you can hook it up to your ears and it runs on batteries. So, and it's a beginner one, I know that, but hell, I'm 60 something and I don't know if I'll pursue it all the way, or, YouTube's got some music on there too, and I'll peruse that, but I'd like to just do some stuff and play with that. It looks like fun instead of paying $144 a year. If I can create one song and use it on a video that my own personal stuff for 5 minutes there. I don't see anybody watching, so I'm sure nobody will mind me jabber-jawing about meaningless stuff, I'm sure. But anyway, it's part of the greeting, and it's just been an interesting week. So I've started down that road. I said I was going to get off of it, but I really need to finish it. I don't feel like I left anybody hanging. And so I ordered it on Tuesday, and on Wednesday I canceled that service. And I got it this morning about 10 o'clock. And I've been through it, and I went in and I started downloading software, and I think I done goofed something. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But, I'll just be scatterbrained, but I'll need my little exercise break in the morning, my little walk in the wilderness, and get me squared away internally, so that I don't come in here in a bare mood from not getting any exercise and just getting up from bed and come down here and trying to engage in something when you're not mentally or physically prepared to. Henry David Thoreau. He once said something. Well, he said a bunch of things, but it was, and I believe I'm attributing this correctly. He did say that firewood warms you twice, once when you cut it and once when you burn it. So he also said, work the body and rest the mind. Now, some people might have said this way before him, but it just seems to me, I read in one of his books or somewhere that was a quote of his. It might have been in the Bartlett's. I got Bartlett's book of quotes. Sometimes you can say volumes in a quote, depending on who you're talking to, I guess. Anyway, so it's been a real mind bender this week, and I was down here yesterday, and it was 800 word monologue. And I know I recorded that thing 8 times and just said to hell with it, I'll edit it on the last one. So if you do 800 words 8 times, that's 8,600 words. And it took about, I guess, 7 minutes or something like that to say that. So, no, I think it was, yeah, I guess. I can go back and look. But it's been a real, sometimes you know what you want to say, but your tongue and mouth just don't say it. You can see the word and know it plain as day, but something went haywire between, the old confuser and the output, and it just got scrambled somehow. I don't know. Maybe it's dyslexia in a verbal form. That old pig Latin, what they used to call it, that old pig Latin or something. I don't know, man. All I could think of that. I thought everything was like that. But anyway, welcome. Raven County Rag for 15 May 2025. Good Lord, already May in 2025. Well, I hope everybody had a good week. If anybody scrolls past this, hey man, what's happening? You're more than welcome to listen for a minute. If you find something of interest, go ahead and throw a comment, and we can start a conversation. Who knows? You might meet somebody that's real important in your life someday by just stopping by and saying, "Hey, it's been known to happen. All I know is that." So who are we? Raven County Rag. Well, rag, you see it, rag. It's an old ham radio operator term. And I know I say it every week, but it's where we'd get together and chew the rag, talk about what's going on, how you feeling, what's going on, what's happening, everybody okay over your way. And these guys would do it over several miles, sometimes a half a country or a full country away, or in another country. When the conditions were right, they would talk and make friends all over the world. And and we can do that too here, but mostly my concentration, unless somebody from Yugoslavia jumps in and wants to join in, man, they're more than welcome to. Joe Biden sitting in Delaware or wherever he lives, at, if he's lounging around and looking at YouTube and he wants to pipe in, hey, come on there, President Biden. Same way, Mr. Trump, you want to come by, say hello, send me something, man. Say hello to me. Any of you big cats out there want to stop by, and I know you got a moment or two down where you're just watching dumbass videos on the YouTube. You don't get to be the richest man in the world doing that shit, do you? But for us regular Joes now, regular Joes, we got some stuff going on. Anyway, where were we? Who we are. We're a community of like-minded people with common interest in hunting, fishing, and protecting our families, community, culture, and environment. We exchange ideas, resources, and information. That's the best I could do. And if I've rearranged a couple of the words, but no more, no less words. So if anybody's got a better theme, hey man, I'm all for you. I appreciate it. Come on, help me out. And the same way, if any of y'all know how to use one of these, Akai, AKAI, and it's called the MPK Mini Play. And I forget the name of their doll. And there's a couple dolls out there that cost a little something, a couple of them just a one-time fee. And if I can become, and I really don't want to, I just want to be able to, when something pops in my head, on a morning walk and something strikes me as a thing, or we're sitting around a campfire and just something special happens and I hit the magic chord for that time and that place, and I could put it down and other people can enjoy it and see if they feel the same thing that I feel when I pick a roo around here. It's mostly upbeat stuff. That's amazing. So I'm a big old, you can say, I don't have my buddy on the Grateful Dead fan. It's really kind of fun music. It's good stuff. Talks about a lot of good stuff. So of course it depends on your outlook in life and how you think about certain things. But anyway, I don't think it's devil worship. Far from it. So how we got down that rabbit hole, I have no idea. But that's who we are. We're sharing. We got, you got to tell family, God, and country. God, family, country. It's got to be your God first. God, family, country. God, family, country. You got to start there. And all that stuff in between's got to be done before you get to, before you can even do, you got to be, well, anyway, not going to go all the way down that road. So, our community, we want to take care of our community. You know, there's limited infrastructure in this county, and it's probably a good thing, and it probably needs to stay that way. And the reason is that whatever your thoughts might be about federal authorities and federal governments and all that, we still have to work together as a people to conserve our natural resources and use them wisely, because whatever it is, it don't matter what you want to call out, there is only a finite amount on this planet. And we need to use that stuff wisely. I don't know how to do that. I don't know exactly how we could do that. It has to be a balance, you know. But anyway, the community, taking care of our community, how we worship, how we play. You know, if fishing and hunting is a big part of our activity, we have to manage the things that provide that to us. So we as a community, you know, we should take a deep respect for nature and our surroundings, and as well as our culture. You know, how we live, how we play, how we treat one another, all that stuff. That's our culture, and I think we should have the right to maintain that culture. Now, some cultures believe it in just getting what they can and rolling along and gathering whatever they're trying to gather up. I dig it. I dig it. I really do. Well, there's no craftsmanship anymore. So that's one of the things that I really think about is craftsmanship. And it's another place where we come together and we exchange ideas. You know, what's the best way? Like, I'll talk about it in a minute, but we had a bunch of rain. We may get some more, and that's typical. We're in a deciduous rainforest where I live at. We're going to get rain. And it's the only difference in us and the Amazon rainforest is it's equatorial, and we're called temporal, I think it's called. Anyway, it's another term for we're just in a different place in cooler temperatures, but we're still deciduous. It's a term of flora and fauna, which is the majority of the area. A rainforest, we get a lot of rain. And these rainforests, they filter a lot of water. It is amazing. We just saw the hurricane that came through there and dumped all that water into western North Carolina up there, and our friends in Chimney Rock. That's something that very, very rarely happens. I'm sure it's happened in the past, but there was a lot of water that came out of that storm that was captured. And then a lot of it goes into the aqueducts. A lot of it goes into storage like lakes and things. It might have been low, but that's why we built those dams to begin with, to control that massive amount of water the best we could. You know, let it run down and build one overflow and then another overflow. Just try to gather it up. It's better to have controlled chaos. I don't know, but anyway, I think we should be taking care. There's a lot of people south of here who sure do need and enjoy fresh water, and it all runs out of here. You got the Eastern Divide and you got the Western Divide. You got the storms in the I guess it depends on where the earth is turned, but you got the one side where it's a mountain and it captures all the moisture and cold air, warm air meet on that side on some times of the year, and on the other times of the year it captures it on the Eastern Divide, and it runs down the valleys and on down to either the Savannah River, Chattahoochee, which runs into the Apalachicola, the Apalachicola, which dumps into the Gulf, which used to be some of the prime, pristine, beautiful shores where you could get Apalachicola oysters and good fishing down there. I don't know how it is anymore. I'd like to hear if anybody's been down there lately. But anyway, that's where the water goes. Runs through all them cities and all them towns. Every bit of and all those farms. All those farms in South Georgia and Alabama and Florida. Well, I guess it gets down into Florida. It dumps into the Atlantic and then goes off and it might go to Florida. Yeah, Florida and Alabama. There's a lot of splits on that water up there. Then you got the other Tom Beachy over there in Chattanooga way. You got Lake Decatur over there. Well, I forget the name of that darn lake over in Decatur, Alabama. That's a big old impoundment gathering that water. But anyway, how we got off on that one, I don't know. But ideas how to control the flood waters. What are we doing? How much rain we think we're going to get, and share that information. Some of us are better meteorologists than others. The old farmer, some of them know more than Farmer's Almanac, and I have a tendency to pay attention to them because the signs are the signs. It's like the other week we talked about that Japanese calendar that had a multitude of seasons in it. It just had all kinds of seasons in it, and it allowed you to track when certain insects would hatch, when, by which moon, and the half phases of the moon and all that stuff that goes on. Raven County Animal Control, because they'll come out there and make the old boy do all kinds of unnecessary things. And I'm sure he'll be responsible and take care of it. I know he will, but it's nice to know that somebody calls you, hey Joe, just went by your place out there. Look, you got a cow down. But I didn't know. I didn't want to call no authorities. Get me upset, him upset, them upset, because I wouldn't tell them nothing. Sometimes you gotta know to keep that old mouth shut, as much as it hurts you. It's like we was out trout fishing. Where was we trout? Tellico River? I don't know. Somewhere in Tennessee. I know that I had to buy a license. But we was going to this isolated spot brother-in-law knew about. It was going through there, and there's a cow out on the road. And we saw where it came through the fence, and we went down the road, and there's old boy standing in the yard, and we took the opportunity to say, hey, man, you got a cow out down there. I don't know if you used to having them out. If it's your cow, somebody else's cow, you might know who it belongs to. Just letting you know there's a cow loose out there. I hate for somebody hit that thing and you lose all that meat. Oh, okay, man. Appreciate it. Didn't ask no questions. Didn't know. It don't matter. He acknowledged it, and I saw him, and I told somebody. That way, I felt like I did the right thing, and that's what we need to do around here too. Well, and good news. Everybody got something to be grateful for this week? Well, I don't know if I want her to know it, but I'm kind of glad my wife is back from her mother's. I don't expect nothing from her. She does a couple things, and I do a couple things, and we can get along all right. So, oh, you know what I need to do? Y'all, I've been working on this Be Right Back. I'm going to put that on there for you a minute and see if that thing pops up and plays. I hope that worked. I don't know. If it don't, I don't know what to do. I don't think it does. I'm looking at it now on the other live feed. Anyway, I am grateful to have Mama back. I wonder how I get that out. And maybe YouTube don't let you. Hey, so much to learn. Anyway, I'm grateful for the opportunity YouTube gives me to be right here with you right now. And I hope you find something every minute of every day. Oh, we got a viewer. Hello there, viewer. Oh, you know who that is? I was fixing to break out the balloons and the confetti, man. I was checking to see if that Be Right Back was playing. I guess I need to figure that out. Still ain't done it. But anyway, I'm here. All right. So I'm grateful for that. My wife being back. Man, it's hard to be grateful for all that rain that came through, but by golly, I'm going to work real hard of it and say I am. Because I just told you all that stuff about it flowing to give everybody from here downstream something to, some good fresh water to add to their reserves. But anyway, grateful for my new little toy and dropping $144 a year expense. Is another thing. So I've got plenty to be grateful for. Got the garden in last week. I guess I told y'all I was sorting all that stuff, and so. But that rain, 9.72 inches in 72 hours. 9.7. That's a lot of rain. And we had some more rain come after that. I put a lot of stuff out this fall. I knew it was coming, and our old driveway's suffering terribly, but that's another story one day. I hope it gets resolved in a pleasant and friendly way. But the rest of it held pretty good, man. I had that old, that Chip Drop outfit. Hey guys, if anybody from Chip Drop ever sees this video, I want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You guys, and I know you provide a service for those tree guys out there too. I know you do. Tree guys that are out of the county or out of the state, they come in to do tree work, and they don't know the local network, and so they're just looking for a place to dump their chips. And it's helpful if you give them a tip, but I hadn't been around when they were here, and I don't know. I guess next time I'll make sure it's shrunk down. Whoo, boy, I might get one wheelbarrow out of that by the time it gets shrunk down. But the rest of it I used in low areas. I used in washes and just tried to build in organic soil. I knew it was going to wash right back out, but it'll wash and then it'll build at the end of the wash. And if I can control that wash, I'll get that water flowing and then I'll gather it up and dump it in the low spot I've got in the backyard. That's the ultimate goal. It's just time and effort. Time and effort. And then I'm not a hydrologist and I'm not spending a ton of borrow money, borrow dirt and all that. If I get, I got a whole hillside out here I can dig out and make some more flat land. So I've done a little calculating and I'm just doing it. I'm trying to keep the landscape embedded without bringing in too much stuff and spending a lot of money on resources. When we're in a rocky area, I try to find enough of the rocks when I do the driveway or digging in the garden, and there's rocks and I gather them up and use them. And I bought a couple loads of rocks. I need to buy another load. I hate to say it, but doggone it, man. If anybody's out there and hauls gravel, hauls rock, I like that old rubble, bigger than football size, that size. That's what I like because I use it mostly for terracing and holding back water, putting weight down so that at least, and I try to push water into a flat where it settles in or gets a good sheet flow so it doesn't form a gully. But anyway, I don't know how in the heck I got out on that, but I guess we're talking about being grateful, and I'm talking about, and that's just the way it is. You ought to be able to tell I'm grateful I got what I got by just me running my mouth. If that makes any sense. But anyway, I hope you've had something to be grateful for. I'm grateful for the new little machine here to give me something to do. It'd probably take 5,000 hours to figure it out, whatever. But it's better than sitting watching old darn TV all the time. At least it keeps the mind going. Like the same way with this live stream thing, heck, it gives me something to do. I can talk to myself and express my views to myself and not have to worry about what anybody thinks. I like that. That's kind of cool. In 100 years, somebody dig some of this stuff up in one of them crystal skeletons where they figured out how to store all that information, and they can figure out who I am. Am I part of the downfall or part of the salvation? Nothing new under the sun, boys and girls. Nothing new under the sun. Bears, I hadn't seen much bear activity, and I like to talk about wildlife, but people get concerned about them old bears, and ain't nothing but big old dumb animals. If they're hungry, they'll eat you. Unless you look bigger and they don't feel like fighting anything bigger than them. Of course, that depends on how hungry you are, but the odds are around here, them old black bear, you just go your way and they'll go your way. I'll do a U-turn and go back the other way until I can get a good distance from them, then observe them, let them move on their way and keep doing that. And they can smell better than I can. You seen the snozolas on those things? They can smell better than I can. They don't want to cross track with me either. Must be a female bear around here, because I walk around the whole cleared area of this place and pee in the tree line, trying to keep the dogs and the bears and all that away. I'm an apex man. I pee on anything I want, right? But that's what I do, is I walk around there, and if I see a bear, they're going to associate my smell with any kind of fear that rattles through their body, and the same with the coyotes. But sometimes that hunger make them take that chance, and And then I have a decision to make. But I'm a pretty generous fella, depending on how hungry I am. All right. There we go. But, I had mentioned 2 or 3 weeks ago about somebody being up on one of the parks or something like that and left a big old pile of trash, and a lady said something about it, and I agreed with her. And I'm still holding true to that. And I've noticed, I went for a walk around the lake the other day, and there's a darn empty old, I guess it's some kind of tater chip bag, one of them small single serving deals floating in the lake. Just floating in the lake. I was like, God dog. And last year, hell, people didn't even have decency to get off the darn trail good enough if they had an emergency in the bowels, It was kind of gross. I mean, I understand running up on something, you got to make emergency, but doggone, man, didn't you have enough forewarning to get 10 yards off the darn trail? Cover your darn mess on the darn trail. I'm like, God dang. Yeah, so, and we got to hold them accountable. Remember, I hope you wouldn't go in their neighborhood and do like some of them do up here. I hope you wouldn't do that. Some of them, now if you got your own property, you got to, and if you keep it in, you can do whatever you want, babe. There are treasure troves where people do that thing. They hoard everything. My first wife's grandfather came through that, and boy, he appreciated every darn thing. And I'd be talking about needing I got a bad plug wire on an old piece of junk I was driving. He said, well, I got some down there in the shop. He had the tools to rebuild a brake cylinder. I'm not talking about the master cylinder. I'm talking about the brake. He had all the tools to do that kind of work, all the tools to grind valves. You could do everything in that shop. It was old stuff, and you had to know what you were looking for, but he had that stuff. And it was nice. But he had everything. Boy, he had shelves all in that darn barn. Shelves in the back, drawers built in that he built himself. Drawers, wooden drawers. Windows in it. He did a good job with that. Man, be proud to have a darn barn like that. I tell you what, I would now. I sure would. And I think he did a dry pour in the floor. I think he told me he just took concrete, mixed it in with the dirt, and mixed it in kind of heavy, the concrete in, and just kept it wet for a few days. And it was a rough floor, but it was better than a darn dirt floor. I'll grant you that, by golly. I didn't mind that at all. Especially when it's cold and windy and rainy, you can get a lot of work done. You want to drink a beer. You and Buddy down there drinking beer and working an old truck. I'll tell y'all a story. Old sister-in-law, ex-sister-in-law. I liked her. But she had a horse, and she had this idea that she's going to be some kind of horse woman. Bought a horse and never rode the horse, just left it in the pasture. Never took care of her tag. Just blah, 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 And you know how it is. You get busy, you get things. And then she got hurt. But anyway, that old horse, I never would ride the darn thing, man. That darn thing break my neck. I'll ride it. But I always kept a box of them Domino sugar cubes way back under the bench there. And when I'd be down there working, I'd go out there and talk that horse and give him that sugar cube. Maybe 2 in the evening. I don't know. Just when I get tired, taking a break. And or drinking a beer. And somebody's got where you like to drink beer. He's just like one of the boys, man. Hey, nudge you. You ain't gonna drink all that. But she never could understand why that horse liked me so much when I'd talk about, "Hey, riding that damn thing, get away from me." Talking to it like that. She never understood why that darn old mule liked me so well. I don't know what I got. I don't know if it was necessarily a symbiotic relationship. I really can't say that I got anything out of the relationship. Well, I guess you could be a friend of a horse, of course. Anyway, I don't even remember that horse's name. And the old man who built that barn, he also built a water trough. Laid brick, tied the corners, laid brick, and then stuccoed it and filled it up. And every little while he'd go out there and fill it, turn the hose to it and fill it up. And put goldfish in it. You got there sometimes, those goldfish be floating around, swimming around. And as time progressed, them old farmers is pretty smart. They knew that if you took care of that water in that pool, in that pond, and you put fresh water in it every now and then, but if you had a good environment in that water, that it was useful for a long time. Didn't have no chlorine, fluoride, forever chemicals, pesticides, fertilizers, just water. I've seen those terraniums. Matter of fact, I built one. I remember it was in high school. I think it was in high school. A terrarium is where you take a big glass jar and you put plants in it and just seal it up. Just airtight, seal it up. And if you did it right, there was already bugs and stuff in that plants that you put in there. You just put like moss and a couple, real small plants, that were in that environment. And you put them in there. And if you did it right, I think it'd live for, I've read about them that they went a long time in those things. Anyway, I don't know how I got off on that. Taking care of our environment. Y'all keep an eye on the property, land in the county, even if it's in the federal jurisdiction. It's in our county lines, and we need to hold. If they're gonna tax us and take our money and all this, then we need to see some return on it, other than a passel of people in some high rise pushing around paperwork and sending emails all day. We need to see stuff happening in the field. We need to see the infrastructure going into place. Not all these studies where we just pay people to sit around and look at it and not paying people to do it. That's my opinion, and you're welcome to yours too. Anyway, spam calls. Doggone it, man, them things drive me so. I'd get 5 or 6 a day. The other evening, wife says, "I put you on that do not call list." Man, I think they sold my name to some damn marketers. I think when we say, "Hey, don't put me, I want to be on the no call list," I bet they turn around and sell that out there to somebody who's selling stuff. I bet they're not even enforcing that stuff. I bet it's just a big old scam. With the volume of junk mail calls with computer aided we get now, including the fishing expeditions and the people who are trying to sell everything in the world, half of it don't make no sense. They're trying to sell. It's crazy. Come on. FCC, what are you doing to protect? we're signing them away. You buy something and well, go ahead and register your product, and then all of a sudden, man, you're getting pounded by just daggum emails all day long, and that's reminds me when I worked at the bulk mail center for the United States Postal Services before emails got real big, before it turned into a continuous marketing campaign by every conglomerate in the world on multiple levels. But anyway, I used to, I thought it was a shame back then. So I guess, I don't know, but they would be baskets and baskets and baskets of this, what they call bulk mail, which is nothing more than catalogs and sales brochures and just tons and tons and tons and tons of it being delivered to anybody that they could possibly think of getting their name. You got it. You got it. You just got it. If they just got your name and address, you were getting it. They didn't. If they could narrow it down to age and all that stuff, they would. But boy, the information they collect nowadays, woo-wee, man, I bet they know how many pimples I got on my butt. I don't know how I feel. Let me know how you feel. Somebody's scrolling by, excuse me. Anyway, the spam calls, y'all were with me last week, weren't you? Hello. Had one of them today tell me, it sounds like we need to talk about this another time, and we'll call you back. Anyway, turkey season. Turkey season is concluded. I believe it's sundown today. So if you ain't out there, it's going to be hard to get out there at this time. Anyway, I hope you turkey hunters had some luck. I think that old bobcat, I think I talked about it last week, that old bobcat we got around here might have had luck. I had 2 hens hanging around here, man. I ain't seen them. But it's been that way before. The fishing, I just got a picture from my other son-in-law. He's down there somewhere in the Blackwater, Sarasota or somewhere out there in mangroves or whatever in the hell it was, and showed a big picture, nice picture of it looked like a tarpon, but it didn't look like a very... I'm trying not to say it, because if I caught a fish that size, I'd be excited. It probably weighed 15 pounds, but some of them tarpons down there, boy, where they catch them on them flies. Them devils is monsters, and you better be ready to fight. If you have an opportunity, go by a YouTube channel and say fly fishing for tarpon and watch it go. To me, it's almost as exciting as catching a blue marlin. You just have to size it. You have to make them relative to one another. By looking at the tackle you're using versus the size fish versus the equipment you're using. Because you don't have a chair or a gunnel or anything else that you can drop a rod into when you're on a dadgum. Well, you do, I guess, but you're normally on a casting platform. Anyway, I'm going to roll on that one. Fishing's looking good. I think everybody should get out there and try and fish. I'm going to get me some. What's tomorrow? Friday. I got everything done. I got to upload some videos tomorrow, but I could get up and dig me some worms out of my worm can. All this rain, I bet there's been a lot of worms washed in the old rivers this past week. What y'all think? I could take a couple of crickets I bought some crickets, didn't use them all, throwed them out there with some old egg crates and throwed in an apple core or something out there for them to eat. Probably not a good idea, that apple core. I mean, yeah, probably too much water. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. Gardening. Everybody get their garden in. Did we talk about it last week? Yeah, because my wife wasn't in town. Yeah, that old rain has beat them down, but some of them looking pretty good. I think we're going to have enough for some of the stuff that I didn't plant as many as, like squash and some beans. But I don't have to say this. But the rabbits must be liking it. My beans look like they've been hit pretty hard by them old goofy tooth things. And to top it off, I went out to look at a retention pond berm I'd built to hold back some of that wash from what I knew was coming. And I'm standing at the corner of the house, story up, looking down at the ground there. And looking down over the propane tank and out toward that wash and at this other garden. And something caught the corner of my eye, and an old bunny rabbit come hopping out. And it was 7 o'clock. And I said, look at that rabbit. About that time, another one. I don't know what kind of relationship they had, but it looked like they was intent on making more little rabbits. So, and I still got plenty of collard greens down there. I bet they loving every minute of it down there. Made old bobcat take them out. Which would you hunt if you was a bobcat? A turkey bird or a rabbit? Turkey bird or a rabbit if you was a bobcat? Which one do you think bobcat would rather have? Whichever one that came across first. Yeah, that's probably what it is. I'm hungry. I'm going to eat you. Anyhow, so I'm probably going to have to do a lot of replanting if we get any semi-dry weather. I don't want to plant them in mud, really. I guess I could. Wouldn't hurt them if it was going to dry out. But some of the garden took a beating. Them old squash plants and cucumbers, they don't look like and I got a few peppers that made it through the initial phase. But my fresh little basils, I don't think they made it. So I'm going to have to put in some more basils. And I want to plant some oregano too. So I don't know if I'll get it in this week. Maybe this weekend. See what seed I got. I hate going to darn. Man, I don't want to go nowhere buy that stuff from them folks, man. I don't even want to look at them. And it's not them. It's not the people. Good Lord, thank you. All you people who work at the Wally World and the Walmart, the Wally World and the Ingles and the Krogers and the Sam's Clubs, Costco, Home Depot, all that retail stuff. Thank you. Thank you. You guys I wish you wouldn't hide as much. I told my wife I was going to go to Home Depot, and I bet I can hide better than any of them. She said, well, you ain't ever done that before. I said, but I might like to try to see how that feels. I could be in an aisle that I'm trying to find something, you know. I know it's somewhere around this area. I'm looking. I see old boy turn the corner wearing one of them Home Depot colors. I ain't ever seen somebody who can make a Dodge that fast in my whole life. And I keep looking. Sometimes I find it. Sometimes I'll snag. I'll walk halfway across. Hey, man. And they'll call that guy that made that U-turn. That's all right. I got to look around while I was trying to find some help to buy a 2-cent screw. It's a shame. Anyway, we're running out of time, I'm sure. Uh, anyway, hope you got your garden in and all that good stuff. We talked about the Clayton Farmers Market down there at the pavilions now through October, Armed Forces Day. There's a parade this weekend in Clayton. Probably going to be, you veterans get out there. I don't know what I got going. I might try and ride out down there and see, but doggone it. Beginning archery at Tallulah Falls State Park. And last week I think it was 11-pound draw, but I was incorrect. It says here they need to be able to have a 20-pound, be able to manage a 20-pound draw. I can handle a 20-pound draw for a few seconds. Full draw? Oh, what? I can bring back and let go. That's at the Jane Hurt Yarn Center. Also coming up, I got just another minute or two. 25 May, Vintage Wooden Boat Parade on Lake Burton. I have seen some of them vintage wooden boats, and boys and girls, them things is nice. You really got to love something. You got to really, holy cow. Anyway, if you get a chance, you might want to take a peek at that. I think I might. When is that? That's next Saturday, ain't it? Nope. That's next 2 Sundays from now. Let's see. No. Yeah. Sunday after this coming Sunday is the 25th. Anyway, 7 June, the Ramshackle in Clayton County. Everybody knows my opinion and feelings on that. If you don't, if you're scrolling through and you catch this, send me a text or send me a message and I'll let you know. It's also a place if you got something for sale. There's probably some stuff right here my wife would love to sell, but I can't quite give it up yet. I got old junk box in the floor, and that old grandboy, he goes, that old junk box, all it is scrap metal and stuff I throw in a box on the floor, and he like, boy, he loves that darn thing. It's all junk to me, but hell, he'll give it back to me. Here, Pawpaw, you don't need to throw this away. It's a broken pen. I love that kid. Oh, I threw that away? Give me that. All right, anyway. Also, it's a place for wanted, and I still have those 2 items, and I'm looking for a harrow disc. That is one of those clover-type shaped pans that go on a disc harrow. I'd like to make a pan out of one of those. So if you have that, send me a message. Let me know how to get in touch with you. And I'm also still looking for some mulch hay. I want to mulch the garden up, and so we don't have to water as often this summer. And if it's got manure in it, clean out a barn or anything like that, that's cool with me too. I'm really fine with it. With all that being said, I've really had a wonderful time sitting here talking to myself this evening, and I'd like to give you all an applause. Standing ovation. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for scrolling by and you catch it. You see it in this future somewhere and you look at this, and I could be gone, I could have been hit by a beer truck. I could be in my grave and somebody will see this and go, that was a goofy old son of a bitch. Anyway, have a grateful week. And boys and girls, we'll see you next time. Stop streaming.